This is a story of how I told my husband that I was not like other girls. I have not spoken to this guy since December. Like, I made that video like 6 months ago. I found it yesterday. I had sent it to a friend. I just thought it was funny. Anyway, I meet my husband last year. This time last year, it was June. And I met him at a party, and we start seeing each other. And then basically a whole bunch of things went wrong at once in my life. I'm not going to get into the specifics of what happened because, like, it was very traumatic and I got fired because of it. But essentially, I just kind of needed him, like needed the distraction a little bit more than I probably would have normally have needed. And I want to say within the course of like 3 or 4 weeks, I realized that this guy is not my husband. And I want to be so clear here. He knew that I was not his wife. Like, this wasn't a situation where like I was just using him and he was like pining after me. We were fully using each other. The context is that I was going through a hard time. My self-esteem took a hit and I just needed to like feel something. He would call what we were doing later friends with benefits, which pissed me off considering that I tried to have the conversation of what are we like 3 or 4 times over the course of like the several months that we were seeing each other, and he would just avoid it every single time, and it was only after that he was like, yeah, we were friends with benefits. So that's why I call him my husband, because I figure, you know, if he can label it without my say so, so can I. This relationship goes on for a couple of months, and then in September, no, it was October. In October, he goes away for a couple of weeks on vacation, fine, whatever. And while he's gone, I realize that I don't want to see him anymore. And I need to like go back and deal with the thing that happened to me in June, because I finally felt like I was ready to deal with it. And I actually credited the fact that I was feeling a lot better to him, because he was a fun guy to hang out with. He was a good distraction. He made me laugh, all the good stuff. But unfortunately, he ended our marriage first. He got to it 2 days before I was planning on doing it, because I had to wait because it was his birthday. It was a whole thing. And when he was ending our marriage, he said something like, I think that you're in love with me. That was like the gist of what he said. And then when I denied it, he went, well, obviously that's a lie. And again, the thing that had happened to me had only happened a couple of months earlier. So I definitely was probably a little bit more clingy than I normally would have been. I probably was a little bit more emotional than I would have been because I was going through a hard time. Anyway, the implication just pissed me off because there was like this, he basically said that, oh, I think that like whenever you leave my house, because we would hang out at his place, whenever you leave my house, you're going home and like writing your name in my journal with like Miss Takira, his last name, which I already had his last name. So I don't know why he like thought that was a weird thing for me to do. I also just was really grossed out by the, because he basically admitted to the fact that he thought that I had much stronger feelings for him than he had for me. And he was perfectly fine, like, stringing me along for those few months. And that just that just grossed me out. Anyway, the last time I saw him, because this whole thing hit me pretty hard. I won't lie. Like, it hurt me quite a bit the way that he did it. I said something to him like, that's what you think of me. Like, you think of me as a person who would sleep with you and like just basically like yearn after you for months and hope that you change your mind. You don't think of me as a person who would just like take what you said, which is that you not want to be in a relationship with me, and like, you know what I mean? And then he just said, well, you know, other girls. And I just said, like, without even thinking, I just went, I'm not like other girls. And the second that I said it, I just went, yeah, I can never see you again. I can never see you again, because how dare you drag that out of me? How dare you drag that out of me? And that's how my marriage ended.